And then we find the number 9 in The Lord of the Rings, which of course is about Saturn L, the Lord of the Ring, which is why there is Sauron, which is Saturn, the Lord of the Two Horns. And from the 9 worlds we come to the Midgard, or Middle Earth, the Mid-El, which forged the 9 rings of power. And from the 9 rings comes the one ring to rule them all, which is the golden ring or the golden crown of Cronus, Saturn 9. And of course, there are 9 legendary heroes. And of course, the ring of Saturn L rules the other rings or the other gods or the 9 planets. And of course, The Dark Knight Rises premiered at midnight on Friday, which is actually the very beginning of the day of Saturn, Saturday, the day of chaos. And by the way, the Chaos Star is an 8-pointed star, but the center or the mid-L is 9. And of course, the chaos from the gunman was all dressed in black, and black is the color of Saturn. And the chaos came from the gun, and the gun shoots bullets from the bull god, Saturn L. And of course, bullets are made from lead, and lead is the element of Saturn L, the bull god. So now you know why we see Saturn L on Led Zeppelin. And by the way, Led Zeppelin stole that song from Spirit, and the song was titled Taurus, the bull. And we all know the truth that Stairway to Heaven is about a stairway to hell. So the bull god L, or the letter L, is the 12th letter, or the 12th month, which is December, the time that is hung upside down, which is Saturnalia. So this is the time of upside down or backwards, and thus Saturn L is the father of time. And that's why the Illuminati logo can be read forwards or backwards. So you see, this is why on the black LP of the vinyl that is 12 inches and turns like Saturn, we have the reverse or backmasking, which is upside down. And that's exactly why Led Zeppelin in Stairway to Heaven has the backmasking and talks about Satan or Saturn. And of course, the black vinyl spins and turns at 33 RPMs, which of course is the 3x3 magic square of Saturn 9. Perhaps that's why Led Zeppelin made 9 albums. And by the way, our 9th month, which is September, actually means the 7th month, and our 11th month actually means 9, 9/11. And thus 11 or L even and the number 9 are both considered to be magic numbers. So the number 9 is a very sacred and magical number in mathematics. And you can check out the genius mathematics of Marco Rodin and his magic circle of 9. And of course he belongs to the Baha'i faith, which worships the number 9. So the Hebrew Cana-Phoenician bull god El was the god or the lord of 2 horns, thus the double. He was known as the double Els, which is why the Lord of the Rings has the 2 towers, and the towers comes from the Taurus bull, which of course is a building or a building, which is why buildings are found on boulevards. So the double buildings of the twin towers of 9 11, or September 11th, brings us to the 9th month of September. The birthstone for September is the sapphire, and the sapphire is the stone of Saturn L, which comes from the Persian word sapphire, meaning beloved Saturn. And the blue sapphire is closely related to the lapis lazuli, which of course is related to the sacred bull. So the two pillars of Tuesday is also known as the 9th day. And in the Bible, in the book of Revelations, we have the story of Revelation 9, the story of the beast, which of course was written by John the Baptist, also known as John the Divine. And maybe, perhaps, that's why he's showing you the symbol of 9. Which brings us back to the Divine 9. And the Divine 9 relates to the Knights Templar, or the Templars of 9. Because, as legend has it, the Knights Templars began with the 9 Masters. Now, I could go on and on about the Divine 9, or the number 9, but you see, all of this came to mind, in my mind, when I heard about the Aurora shooting, the Dark Knight Rises, that happened in Theater 9. Now, remember earlier I was telling you about how the Dark Knight Rises resembles the symbolism of September 11th, or the attacks on the World Trade Center. So, for the next few moments, I really want to focus and talk about the attacks on September 11th upon the World Trade Center, and how it was nothing more than a 9/11 stock market scam that was created and done by the world elite, and they used Wall Street to do it.
And every trader will tell you who was not in that building and who was buying gold and who owned gold and silver, that when it happened, the first thing you thought about was, well, how much is gold up? The first thing that came to mind was, my God, gold must be exploding. Fortunately for us, all our clients were in gold. So when it went up, they all doubled their money. Everybody doubled their money. It was a blessing.
A put option is a bet that a stock price is going to fall. If one were to put a single put option contract on American Airlines at $30 a share, and the stock fell to $18, one could purchase 100 shares at $18 and immediately sell them for $30, netting a profit of $12 a share. This is exactly what happened on a far larger scale with many companies around the world on 9/11. The levels of options purchased the week of 9/11 were more than 6 times higher than normal. A former member of the German parliament, then responsible for oversight of the German Secret Service, estimated that profits by insider traders were $15 billion.
Wall Street analyst Phil Erlinger was the first to spot the suspicious trades.
What I see is prior knowledge. You can call it conspiracy. It's my opinion that somebody knew ahead of time that 9/11 was going to happen, and they made bets to take advantage of it.
Thousands of put stock options were bought on United and American Airlines immediately prior to September 11th, 2001. The director of the CIA headed a firm that bought some of these put stock options. Until 1998, Buzzy Krongard headed United Airlines stock. Mr. Krongard was head of Bankers Trust until he resigned, and was promoted to CIA Executive Director by President Bush in March 2001. Buzzy Krongard purchased this stock, and our government did nothing about it. Deutsche Bank is also one of the 4 banks most used by the bin Laden family.
The firm used to place the put options on United Airlines stock was managed until 1998 by the man who is now the number 3 executive director position at the CIA, A.B. Buzzy Krongard, became vice chairman of Bankers Trust when the two firms merged.
When they analyzed the stock market after 9/11, the CIA discovered a massive shorting of airline stocks. When the stocks hit bottom on 9/12, somebody made a fortune.
So you can go to YouTube and watch the full documentary of 9/11 coincidences, but I'm going to get back to Wall Street. So remember I told you that it was the Dutch who actually discovered New York, or the New Netherland, on September 11th. And remember I told you that in 1613 they established the first World Trade Center. And that's exactly why in the year 2013 they will finish the new One World Trade Center. And of course, it'll be 1776 feet tall, which is the year the Bavarian Illuminati was formed. So Wall Street is the financial district of New York and of the world. And believe it or not, the etymology of the word Wall Street comes from a Dutch word when the Dutch occupied New Amsterdam or New York. You see, Wall Street actually comes from a wall that was named by the Dutch, de Waalstraat. And if you go to New York and look at a tile on Wall Street, you'll see it depicts a picture of the actual wall, and you'll notice it looks like the color of orange, which is exactly why you'll find that Wall Street on Wall Street is in the color of orange. You see, the Dutch West India Company was granted a charter to rule over the jurisdiction and own the North American trade. In other words, own the money. And this is exactly why Wall Street owns your money, and that's exactly why you have an empty wallet. And in Manhattan, New York, is where you'll find the ballers, or the Illuminati elites, worship of the sacred bull on Wall Street. And of course, they moved the sacred bull to Bowling Green, because Bowling Green is the original Dutch fort of New Amsterdam, or the New Netherlands, New York. So remember earlier I was telling you about the 11, or the L even, and how it's another magical number of the Illuminati. The New York Stock Exchange is actually on 11 Wall Street. And even the Dow Jones began initially with 11 stock offerings. And believe it or not, the actual bull stands 11 feet tall. And have you ever noticed the bull on Merrill Lynch, which was also one of the criminals during the 9/11 scam? And by the way, the bull on Wall Street is not the only bull in a financial district of the world. Believe it or not, the same artist, Arturo Di Modica, put another bull in the financial district in none other than Amsterdam in 2012. And it's really sad how gullible people are, and how they actually believe the bullshit these people say. You see, it's the same story with the bull on Wall Street as with the one in Amsterdam. They actually say that the artist is the one responsible for placing the bull there, and that the illegal placement of the raging bull led to some discussion with the city authorities, and their initial response was to have the bull removed. And then they realized the opportunity it provided, and they changed their minds and let the bull stay. And believe it or not, if you go to China, in Shanghai, the financial city, you will find that they also have the financial charging, raging bull. And if you go to Frankfurt, Germany, at the stock exchange, you will also find another bull. So I just laugh when gullible people actually believe the bullshit story of how the bull was put on Wall Street by some artist, when the truth is that's the symbol of the Illuminati, which is why you'll see the police protecting the sacred bull.